Hi, my name is Jason from Sow the Land, and today I am in Fontana, California, Southern California, and I'm at my friend Justin's, and he's farming in the suburbs, he's farming in the city, and he's farming in his front yard and his backyard. So let's go see what he has going on.
Hi, what's going on, everybody? My name is Justin Gay. We're in Fontana, California, and this is my plot. The little plot that could, man. Yeah. Yeah, basically what we grow right now, it's pretty much following the Curtis Stone model of things for the most part. Just really fast growing, high yielding crops at the higher price points for the most part. So a lot of leafy greens, a lot of microgreens, some fruiting crops like squash. Those are mainly for our juice bar that we run at one of our farmers markets. Yeah, we juice squash, like zucchini juice. Yeah, it's dope. It's so good. I couldn't believe it tastes so good. But yeah, so we do that. Yeah, right now we mainly support our biggest revenue stream as farmers markets, and then we do some restaurants, and then we do some direct sales to customers and whatnot.
Okay, we're in a neighborhood.
Yeah, man. This is I mean, take a look around. Yeah, this is straight houses.
Yeah, here, let me turn this around.
Yeah. This is suburbia, man. Yeah.
Yeah, this is suburbia. We're in Southern California. It's like I grew up not too far from here, so I thought it was interesting what you're doing here.
Right.
And so, how long have you been doing this here?
This plot in particular, I've only been here now 2 years. This is April was my second year, so I don't know, 2 years and a couple months.
Yeah. And then, so when you bought this place 2 years ago, was this your vision?
Yeah.
Of like, I wanted to grow food in my front yard?
Yeah, exactly. It was in front backyard. Like I was telling you, man, when I bought this place, I don't recommend anybody buying a house this way, straight up. Like, it was a Hail Mary pass. I was like, yo, I got the money. The taxes were gonna get nutty. And it was just like, okay. I literally did not look in the inside of the house. Well, I did like a couple times just to make sure there was no holes or anything crazy.
Right.
But I was like, I can deal with that. What's going on outside? So I was like, it's enough land. I can do what I want to do. And so, yeah, that's pretty much all I did. I just looked at the yard. Yeah, I just looked at the yard.
So how long have you been like growing food and doing this type of stuff?
This now, for the seeds of Xanadu, it is 5 years. On the first 6 months to a year, we were only focusing on plant starts. That's what we were doing. So we were doing things for your garden, tomatoes, whatever. Same things that you would find at the Home Depot and stuff like that. Give or take 4 years is when we've been doing just straight veg production.
And how did you learn how to do all this?
University of YouTube, man. Google State. That's
just doing it.
Just going out, man. Just getting your hands dirty. I was gardening pretty heavy though before that.
Okay.
So I guess that was part of it. I was gardening. I can't remember exactly the year, but it was just like, dude, I have never been bit by anything as hard in my life. Just to do like where I wanted to do. Like that's all I would do. I'd wake up, YouTube, watching videos. Middle of the day, like I'm driving to and from work. It's podcasts about gardening, and get back home, more YouTube videos. That's all it was. It was just constant. And then eventually I just got to a point where, it was like, well, this is your passion. This is what you like to do. But yeah, and it was just that, man. It was just the love to grow. I mean, I was passing up money, dude, like just to be here, man. I still kind of do, but it's a little bit more tame now.
So what does your neighbors think of you growing in your front yard? They
dig it now, man.
Really?
Yeah, you know what, dude? At the beginning, it was scary. It's always scary, dude. This is my second yard takeover that I've done.
Okay.
So I had another one in Upland, California, right about the same size. Actually, the same size without the house. Okay. So there was no house. It was just all yard, which was really cool. That was actually my first step into actual market gardening. I mean, it's not really a large scale, but the largest scale that I had done at the time. Right. And then I since went to a bigger scale. I went to a bigger farm that was right about a ½ acre. Since closed that down, and now I'm pretty much just doing it out of the house. Yeah.
Yeah. So you had pretty good support from your neighbors.
Yeah, dude, they're super cool, man. That's what I was getting at. Yeah, it's always scary though, but Yeah, knock on wood.
No one's
you know?
like calling cops on you. Hey,
No,
this guy's
it's
growing
not-
food.
No, not yet, man. Not yet, not yet. You know, at first I think they were like, "What the hell is this dude doing?" You know, because it's not that type of vibe out here. You know, Fontana's not like that. Fontana is pretty much, it's just kind of everybody's kind of to themselves, like family. It's not really like market gardening. You don't see that kind of stuff out here. I mean, dude, like I was kind of saying, like we're surrounded by acreage, man. If you go just down this block here, that block down there, there's tons of acreage, but there's nobody growing really anything in it. So this is kind of something that you don't see around places that actually have the land to do it, which is to me kind of odd, but it's part of the life. But yeah, no, everybody's been cool. I give tomatoes and squash and lettuce.
I'm sure they love it. Right?
Yeah, now it's like, hey, Justin. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? Take some squash right on, man. Yeah.
So do you grow year round?
Yeah, I grow year round here. For the most part, it's all year round. We do change varieties depending on the season. What can handle mostly the heat here. That's our biggest concern.
I hear people like, especially in this area, like getting fined for using too much water.
Right.
Do you have any issues like that?
Water, I'm here by myself, so my water consumption personally is relatively low. I'm one person. The water that is actually utilized for the plot, how can I put it? My water bill equals probably the same amount as a family maybe with 2 or 3 people in it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's not like, no, I'm not really setting off any alarms or anything. They're like, oh my God, it's. I've asked my neighbors, how much is your bill? It's about the same as mine, dude.
I see.
And some of them come to me like, dude, your bill has to be expensive, and it's like, nah, how much is yours, man? They're like, yeah, that's about the same as us. I'm like, right on. So yeah, it's been cool. Yeah.
Okay. This is your harvest?
These are harvest. This is our post-harvesting section. Lily's just wrapping up for the day. We just pretty much the standard market gardening setup. Bubbler in the spinner.
And then you store in here?
Yeah. This is our coolers. We're kind of empty right now. Putting everything in. Everything's kind of been out there. We didn't really have a big harvest this week either. Right. So yeah, we took a little walk-in cooler. We do a live cut at our markets, farmers markets. So we don't need a really big cooler, like a walk-in. At least not yet.
You made all this stuff.
We made this, yeah. This is all built. This is all the whole Michael Kilpatrick. Yeah, this is his design, man.
And this is a greens bubbler.
This is a greens bubbler.
It just bubbles up.
It just bubbles it up, man.
Man, I love it. That was a garage.
Yeah, that was a garage, dude. That was it, man. Yeah. You know what, man? Like you see, like I totally took out the washer and dryer unit. Like where our spinner's at is actually, that's where my washing machine was. I was like, I don't need that anymore. That's cool.
That's great, man.
I'll go to my mom's house and wash, so it's all good. It's about a 40-mile drive, but that's where I wash clothes. It gives me a reason to say what's up to my mom.
Right.
These are the microgreens. This is for the most part where we grow all the microgreens in the summer.
How often do you do farmers markets? Like how many farmers markets do you do?
Right now we are at 5 markets, believe it or not, and kind of reeling it back a little bit now. Starting to focus a little bit more on restaurants, trying to get that kind of thing going so we can kind of just a little. I love farmers markets, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be in as many as I'm in right now. So that's kind of the idea. But it's cool to actually be able to have that type of option. All right. So back here, it's a little bit more of the leafy green stuff. We're doing more lettuces, just like in the front. We do a lot of leafy greens. Our lettuces right now are transplanted. This is actually the first year that we're really getting into the transplanted lettuce. Normally everything has always been direct seeded.
So the tomato season's over?
Tomato season's over for us. Well, it doesn't have to be.
Right.
And I was gonna run it, man. I was gonna run it a little bit longer. But I mean, you can see the tomatoes on the ground still. I decided not to, just because, I don't know, it's a little bit more lucrative for the lettuces and stuff like that. Although our tomatoes, dude, man, towards the end, whoa, it basically next year I'll be doubling up on tomatoes, man.
So what's your main crop?
Main crop, definitely the microgreens. That's the backbone of the business. Yeah, the microgreens, that pretty much taught me that I can pretty much hold everything down in that little area right there. It started all this. We so from the growing the greens and getting that stuff established, we now have been able to expand to mushrooms, and that's where this is gonna. This little hut's gonna end up being is mushrooms. So
this is mushrooms.
Yeah.
So what did you have in mind for the mushrooms in here?
So basically what we've done is, as you can see, we've kind of just came in and we have insulated it to get it all ready, because we're gonna be running coolers and stuff like that in here as well to keep it climate controlled. So every time, man, we knock something out or I learn something and I get proficient enough, I pretty much kind of hire somebody to then take over, if you will, that task. I get another W9 contractor out here. So these people, like, they kind of know, they kind of have an idea of what's gardening, that kind of stuff, like how to make stuff happen. So they come in and then I can just easily train them, do that, and then I move to the next section. And I get my head wrapped around how that system's gonna work. As soon as I get that system locked in, then I move to the next one. And so this is the next one.
So you do this full time?
I guess you can call it full time. My other job is another business, really. So I'm a sound engineer as well. So it's really cool, dude. Like, I can work a couple times a month there and be completely satisfied, dude. Like, you know, I don't have to really worry about anything. And then the back end, believe it or not, this whole lot, the plot now takes care of itself, including the house and the utilities. It can pay for the mortgage, all the bills, and that stuff. Just depends on how I want to play with that money. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man.
it's been, dude, like, it's a blessing, brother. Yeah, it's been really cool.
All right, Justin, you're doing amazing stuff here, man.
Thanks, man. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you letting me come out.
Appreciate it.
How can people find you?
You can definitely find me on Instagram. You can find me on YouTube, definitely. Instagram, we normally do like a lot of more stuff for fun. A little bit of teaching on there, but YouTube, there's a lot more tutorial type stuff going on there, vloggy. Farmers markets, we're in the Long Beach Farmers Market, the Marina on Sunday, on Riverside, Claremont, and Orange Homegrown. Those guys are on Saturday. Yeah, just look for the days of those cities, man. You'll find.
And what's the name of your YouTube channel?
The Seeds of Xanadu. That's XANXADU. The Seeds of. Yeah,
and I'll put links down to all his information down in the show notes of this video.
Right on, man.
But yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Right on, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming by, man. Yeah.
All right, so somebody living in the city like you are, like, do you have any advice for them? Like, they just want to start growing food? Because I get people contacting me, hey, how do I start? Like, where do I start from? I'm living in the city and I don't know where to go.
Right.
Like, what would you suggest?
Just start. It's really simple. My biggest point or piece of advice to anybody, actually it's one or two things really. What is it that you like to eat? And out of those things, you actually get a little proactive with it. Get a piece of paper, pad and pen, write down your list of all the vegetables that you like to eat. Out of those vegetables, look for the ones that are the most expensive. The ones that are most expensive are the ones you should grow. Yeah, leave it at that. Start there. It doesn't have to be big. Think about you and your family, even if it's just one plant, dude, like one tomato, one herb you can put in your windowsill, anything, man. Just start growing it. It's really important, I feel, for us to know what it's like to start something from a seed and then eat it. I think that's probably one of the biggest connections you can actually ever make, man. Like with just your food, with yourself, I think that's huge. Yeah.
And then you're doing it here in the city.
Yeah, man.
You're farming in the city.
I'm farming in the city. Yeah, farming in the city. Yeah. You know, see you, Chop.
Thanks, man.